Welcome on back, folks. It is the Valorant Championship Tour. It is close qualifiers number 3 here for challengers. And Gen.G, they found themselves in the loser's bracket against the unsigned team Koalas. They put up a fight and it ended up coming down to a 24-round classic. But Gen.G, with a little bit of a comeback at the end of things, they head into map number 2 with the advantage. It's a fun time, Sully, as that map ended up coming down to a lot of great individual plays.
Yeah, it felt like a lot of it from the side of Koalas was really running it down to Screwface and seeing what he could do individually, right? There were so many rounds where he came up so clutch, creating all of this space for his team. And then when he went down, his team necessarily wasn't able to close it out, but they kind of just fell under the pressure and they lose all that space. So it's really rough for Koalas to lose out in that fashion, knowing that they were basically one round away from a red carpet to taking a 1-0 map lead and then going into their favorite map of Ascent where they're currently 6-0. I mean, this is the stuff of nightmares for Koalas, unfortunately, and Gen.G, they're just getting started here.
Yeah, and they got to be kicking themselves for that one. It comes down to the mental factor of things for the boys of Koalas, but you can already see through tweets already. Harmon just tweeted that they're doing it for the storyline, Sully. So they're coming into map number 2 with high hopes, and map number 2 just so happens to be their best.
Yeah, I'd really hope so. They come in with high hopes. I mean, this map, I've been pretty impressed with what they can bring. Koalas against Beast Coast at 13-5 victory. They had very good plans. I mean, at certain points, I felt like they were a little shaky in their defaults, but then they kind of even things out. So expect, again, a lot of judges and Buckies. This map in particular is where Screwface loves to pull it out. And I think we saw, again, in particular, that Beast Coast game on Ascent. Yes. He brought it like 4 or 5 times to get like 10 or so kills just off of shotguns alone. So this second map is going to be a whole lot of shotguns. And if you're Gen.G, how are you going to account for that one? Because when you Screwface is in your face, we've seen what he can do, and that's going to be extremely scary for Gen.G.
Oh, it's going to be so scary. Again, it comes down to what would be that strong defensive side, right? Because I don't think we're going to be seeing too much of that Screwface. I can't say that. I can't say that with all seriousness. You already know that we're going to see some sort of cheese throughout that first half that really Koalas, in terms of their advantages on the attacking side, it's not exactly statistically their best. They have just about a 60% win rate, which is still better than most. But even then, it's going to be the defensive side that they can have a whole lot more fun with. But again, that's just semantics. When we're talking about the actual takes, though, I think Gen.G is very much more organized on this map. And I say that, however, we did see that play from Win earlier. It was a little bit of a head scratcher, one of the more Valorant-esque moments of the tournament. But this one's going to be a fun time. I feel like this is really going to be the showcase.
Yeah, Ascent, well, not necessarily the best for Gen.G, right? They've lost, I think, the last 4 to 5 maps that they've played. No, last 3 of the 4 maps that they've played. They've all been very close against TSM, against Immortals, against Cloud9 Blue. So this is a map they are very familiar on. And I think that the biggest thing, again, we kind of jump back to how Koalas, they aren't necessarily accustomed to playing against these really coordinated teams, these really default heavy teams. So I'm curious to know how they're going to go into this one. I had the same thoughts on Haven. They still ended up impressing. So it's up to Koalas. Can they bring the same heat here? They're going to be running the exact same comp lineup as one another. So at least that's what we're expecting. So Koalas, it's do or die here in map number 2, Gus.
Absolutely. For the Koalas, we're going to be expecting, at least in terms of Ascent, the Reyna, the KJ. We already see it. Harmon down on the Sova. Screwface most likely on that Jet once again. Anderson picking up that Omen. As for Gen.G, not too many surprises as they have a very similar, if not the exact same comp, and indeed it is the same at the end of things.
Yeah, so the thing with this comp is the main change is obviously going to be Sean moving away from the Phoenix and onto the Reyna. And on this map, you can take a lot of early duels, get that fight, and then instantly dismount of there. I'm thinking mainly that duo of Sean and Huyn are going to be sticking together on this defensive side, as that's where Gen.G are going to end up starting. So you can take fights in Garden if you are Sean. You can get an early kill, then dismiss out of there, maintaining that control with Huyn right behind you. There are a lot of deadly combos that Gen.G have been doing already on Ascent, and we've seen it as well. If you guys did watch that Beast Coast game, I'm going to keep referring to that one for Koalas. They have that same combo between GEN.G and Screwface, right? We saw it on Haven as well, pushing together, taking map control, creating a lot of space when GEN.G was still playing that Reyna. So keep the lookout for those two players in particular, for both Kooky Koalas and Gen.G, but we're headed on in. Again, Kooky Koalas down 1-0 in terms of a map scoreline, and Gen.G looking for a second map to take themselves to day number 2.
Let's see how the Kooky Koalas actually want to play this one up, folks. Map number 2, Gen.G need this to advance and still be alive for a spot in Masters. That's really what all this is about. 50k prize pool at the end of things, and the Kooky Koalas are certainly not happy with just 1k at the end of things. 125 already left in the round, and I say that purely because the Kooky Koalas, they're getting a whole lot of control.
Yeah, so this is something that they love to do consistently, is take this mid control, right? They love to get all of that space. They know that normally it's going to be unprotected, especially if you're running that killjoy. So Kooky Koala straight on in. It's Screwface once more to explode into the site and take all of that space.
Here.
2-man advantage for the Kooky Koalas. Gen.G, 3 players that they have. Looking out for what would be the more pivotal angles. I do like that owl drone, just essentially hovering above that boathouse. Makes it a little bit more versatile and just gets all that information. Ainge is just waiting up over in B main, but finally Sean actually emerges and takes him down. That's one less thing to worry about for the take. Dim some boy around the corner trying to dodge the eye, and indeed he does. He takes down Sean, and he's going to be able to get a second, and Anderson with the last. Kooky Koalas, they get themselves yet another pistol round.
You're gonna have to wait and see though what Gen.G want to do about this mid presence. If they're maybe gonna start throwing 1 or 2 players there, right? That's the thing with Kooky Koalas, is that when they are able to take all of that space up towards mid, Gen.G, a team like Gen.G, are gonna have to find a way to adjust. And Kooky Koalas, they're gonna play right into that. They know Gen.G are gonna make changes. They're gonna put pressure there, and then they're just gonna ultimately say, hey, we're just gonna leave it. So does look like there's already a turret, right? There's the very, very small change that's happened and could maybe create a chain reaction down the line for Gen.G, but it's going to be a bloodbath here. It's already smoke down, Lear out, 4 players on both sides. Now with, I think it's Kusa rotating back towards Catwalk. It's going to be a 3v4, and Screwface is just waiting with a Bucky.
Oh, this is wild. Wonderful one way. Don't think we're gonna see any flashes. Instead, all we're gonna see are a whole lot of pumps. Screwface from above gonna be able to get a second, make it a third. Kusta around the corner. Yeah, Kusta actually does get the kill. Gen.G, now with only a singular person remaining, it's none other than GMD, who actually made his wrap around over towards the mid side. They actually do have an anchor over on B, just looking out in terms of util, but wasn't able to get off GMD. And instead, okay, Ainge, you don't exactly use the Bucky all the time, but you got to make it count, buddy. Indeed, he does. 3rd kill for Ainge. 3 out of the 5 in the round used up by the Buckies. It's new era, folks. It's a shotgun meta. Kooky Koalas, however, they go into this next one as a bonus. Not much of a reinvestment. Screwface would like to get these knives out, though, but he wants to maintain the Bucky and could fight for orb.
Yeah, I wonder if now Gen.G are going to put a little more pressure towards A, and yeah, there's that adjustment. Instead, switching Kusta from the A site, which he will normally set up his Killjoy util, back towards B. They've got the alarm but down towards mid. So now Kooky Koalas, that's an area where maybe they could abuse, or they realize now that the changes are going to be made here by Gen.G, and Sean forced into a corner. It's Screwface to his face, but it's Sean with the kill instead. He's going to be able to duck away off the dismiss on 77 HP with 3 shield left over. And Kusa nearly with the lineup, but Harmon and Ainge are good for the trades. 3v3, the gates will start to go down now as Kooky Koalas have a pretty good advantage as they force these players back.
Oh, damn, some boy has 2 players to deal with in Market, and Win and Michael. Good old crossfire, and they find themselves their own targets to focus on, and Gen.G, after what was a very quick take from the Kooky Koalas, they still end up taking it back.
A little unfortunate, especially for Screwface, who couldn't find the one pump. Yeah, Sean, this is the angle that you want. I mean, the spread is always going to be a little more difficult, and Sean with that clean snap. Kooky Koalas, it was, like you said earlier, a bonus for them, so they don't really have anything to worry about. Obviously, reinvestments are going to be just fine. Now Screwface has got the Blade Stone, but even furthermore, he's even been able to pick up the Operator. So Kooky Koalas, a strong buy going forward. They're going to clear out mid with that Recon Bolt, but again, Gen.G just leaving that alarm bot. I think Sean is getting a little bit antsy. He's made a rotation back towards Market. And that's going to draw one player back away from that B site. So if they can get a kill on Takusta here, if maybe the lurk from Dim Sum can maybe result in something, this is going to look really, really good early on for Kuki Koalas. But he doesn't find much. He just has the turret there to watch the lurk. I think Harman's going to get the info that the alarm bot will be just around here. He's going to clear everything out. Mid is almost scot-free here as they've invested now a second smoke from Anderson. They are still stuck, and now it's even drawn a second from Quinn, so both sides severely weakened by this mid play.
It's going to be interesting to see if the Kuki Koalas actually do want to maintain that pressure in that area. You still have two players that could potentially lurk, and ooh, okay. Quick cat take, and Anderson immediately smokes back mid and still goes for the fight. That's unreal in terms of a cross. It's going to allow his teammates to go forward, but now Kusta, Bucky up front, but can't beat out Dim Sum Boy. All that util over in Garage, all that util up front is now moot. Anderson is just plugging it out. I was gonna say something just like, you know, oh wow, what a tactically prowess, you know, team this team is, man, or I don't know, something smart. But I want to sound dumb, and I just want to say that Anderson is just doing a good job, just aiming down his opponents, dude. Good stuff in terms of the entries. Gen.G, they have no chance in actually holding back. And you mentioned in terms of the economy, the rebuys weren't actually going to be that difficult, but it wasn't that round. Gen.G, they had to reinvest at least for 3 of their players back. And if we're being completely honest, the Kuki Koalas still going to be maintaining a real fun time against Gen.G as they're making art at the moment, as they do on the server.
Again, that mid presence, I think, is really throwing a wrench to Gen.G. It's like, oh no, well, all of these shots going mid, the Owl drone and everything, the smokes, 2 smokes invested. Well, we need him to draw some rotations. It draws both Quinn and Sean away from their respective sites. Gen.G, that's going to be a huge issue, and what really works into Kuki Koala's favor is that they can play the numbers game. They will always almost guaranteed have an advantage going to the site because they have that presence mid. So it's going to be a light buy here for Gen.G. GMD is not going to be able to get much. Lucky for Michael, second up, picked up for Quinn. They're looking for a very early fight here towards A main with a Paranoia at the ready.
Paranoia at the ready. That's going to be GMD with a Vandal and still a Bucky to help out. In we go. It's actually double Bucky in this area. The one way should help Screwface, however, and indeed it does. Vandal now down. That's a massive detriment, as now it's just going to be the fight for Quinn, and indeed he's able to pick it up.
Oh, it's just who peeks the corner first, because Screwface already tagged. Quinn just needs 2 body shots or 1 clean headshot. They will back away. They have most of A main. However, with the position that Quinn's got, he can call people to kind of stick around that B site. Oh, never mind. Down he goes. Now Screwface has retaken this position, and now it's going to be drawing players away. And Ainge all the way towards B. Going to find the lurk from Kusta. And Screwface and this operator doing bits here for the side of Kuki Koalas. The B site completely open. And in a 2 versus 5, no real guns to work with except for the Buckies. There's one. But Sean is going to need a whole lot more, and he's going to get nothing. 4th round picked up. Nice and clean from Kuki Koalas, keeping the operator alive as well.
Yeah, good clean stuff again. I do like the fact that Gen.G wanted a little bit something sneakier over towards the A main area, but again, later on, Gen.G, they would have to be totally on point in terms of that rotation. The Kuki Koalas, they already had their mind set on the A site from the very beginning of things, and you could kind of tell just from kind of that lingering effect over towards the mid side. But still, this one is a little bit different, as they might be going for a bit of a split or just mid control in general.
Yeah, so they leave Cat completely open just for Quinn to sit there. And to be honest, he doesn't even really need to be there because they have that alarm bot. He can dash away easily. He could have played Catwalk. Great smoke. That is lovely coming out from Kuki Koalas. Smoke right on top of the alarm bot that forces Quinn's hand to back away. Now mid has become a threat. However, that alarm bot, though, they could easily burst up. And I think that's the biggest thing in the mind of Gen.G, is that a burst up towards mid could be detrimental, as they don't really have anything to allocate for that area.
Yeah, and before the Cookie Koalas, they would actually utilize the early util of Harmon, the shock darts at least, to actually clear out alarm bots in mid. Before it was actually for tripwires, but this one still might be a little bit more important. But they haven't approached mid all too much, so they don't even know that the util is there, but it doesn't matter, right? Anderson fights it, Screwface, the battle op is back. One player up in heaven to try to fight up. Anderson with a low HP can't take on Kusta. It's a man advantage for the Cookie Koalas as they have full advantage of the A site. And Gen.G doesn't exactly look like they're going for any ulterior routes. Still maintaining things
lockdown.
Easy over towards Garden, but there you go. Yes. Lockdown goes down. Another Cookie Koalas. They got to fight.
Shock dart's going in, though. That's going to disable it. So I think at this point... Oh, no, it doesn't. They only had one left for them. No nanostorms to keep players out of line. Oh, Screwface on the exit is going to get one. And there's even a flank coming in now from Dim Sum Boy. Ainge is going to go for the swing. He's got no leers. It's a dry peak, but dry is all they need. Ainge with the second. Cookie Koalas tally on a fifth. Their exits are looking clean, and Gen.G are starting to fall behind now.
Yeah, I mentioned that contingency plan. Usually when we see something a little bit more aggressive from the Cookie Koalas, which is actually like 80% of the rounds that we see from them, it comes down to the scattered battles, and to that extent, it's Screwface and Anderson actually opening up the space in this round, and I don't know how he does it. Screwface battling up mid-site with the op. I mean, that's the duelist idea, right? That's the methodology that duelists like to go for. Just you try to clear up control for your team. It's very tactical, and the rest of the team can really spread out from there in terms of util. But in that sense, you give Screwface an op, and you give him way too much of an advantage some way somehow.
I mean, Screwface has just always been really good about taking space with an op, with a Bucky, with a Judge, with a Frenzy, with a rifle. I mean, any gun you give him, he's gonna find a way to creep his way on the site, get a kill here or there, and then get out of there for his team to regroup with him. I mean, it's a great time to call a tactical pause if you're Gen.G, because down 5-1, you're at that 6th round mark. The first quarter has just reached, and you're moving into the 7th. You need to make adjustments. If Cookie Koalas can continue to snowball and find themselves a really dominant lead going into the second half on their defensive side, where they actually do thrive, maybe a little more off of the Buckies and Judges, that's when things get chaotic. I think that's what's throwing Gen.G off a whole lot, is this pacing that Cookie Koalas are going for.
Again, it's so off tempo, it's so unexpected, and Gen.G, they would need their own fire, their own aggression to try to counteract that. But that's really, that's the trap, right? You see all this aggression and you want to maintain that same dynamic. Same thing with the shotguns, right? I mean, you see Screwface succeeding so many times, and you want to use the Judge too, but unfortunately that's just not how it works. I do like that from Win, though. They try to fight up over towards the cat area. They get a lot of info over towards the B main area, and now it's Kusta trying to hold on back. Not only that, but the smoke is delaying so much time. The rotation is here right on time. Hunter's Fury connecting. Same thing with the Blade Storm. And the Cookie Koalas, they're all stuck in B main. Win beaming through the smoke. Anderson left dazed at this point, as now it's only 2 players left for the Cookie Koalas. It's their duelist, but they can't even cross. No smokes. So many crosshairs on. Screwface tries to get a pick in. Sean and GMD go nuts. That's a flawless eco round. How on earth?
Now that's maybe where Cookie Koalas kind of take a little bit of a turn, right? You're against an eco round. You know that Gen.G don't have the better guns, but they have no information. They send no one towards the A side, and Gen.G, they post up 2 players towards Catwalk, and then the third goes back after the contact is made off the Nano Swarm, I think from Dim Sum Boy and B main, and that's when rotations start to come. So that's where Cookie Koalas, they slowly fall behind, is when their defaults don't work out or when they don't get any info, and all the info goes the way of Gen.G, where they know it's not A, they know it has to be B, they know there's no one mid. They take the fight to them, and I mean, Cookie Koalas were just caught completely unprepared for that situation. Sean, alongside Michael, is going to push up here. There's a one-way for Ainge and a chance for one, but it's that smoke fades, so does that advantage.
Ainge solo with a couple of bursts in A main, but can't exactly find anything. This time it's actually going to be a 2-man crossfire the mid side, but good isolation using up that smoke. They still have to keep a line of sight on it. That ping is going to be a little bit detrimental, especially for that spike. It's sitting all alone over towards the mid side, and they're all busy just trying to fight up mid. Double drop and cap, but Screwface good flick on. Still, they have to find a way out, Sully. 45 seconds left, and an escape, at least for a second there, was looking a little bit dire. But with all the players backing out, and with B main control being fully taken by Win, GEN.G, they have a chance to really try to fight out this A site. But GMD goes down. Man advantage for the Kooky Koalas trying to get this bomb down with just about 30 seconds left. Good headshot trade, actually.
Crusta so low, and Quinn is nowhere to be found. Spam through underneath the rafters. Quinn now with only an operator. What a miracle he's going to need to pull this one off. His positioning not primed either, given the gun he's got. And already Screwface posted up on him. Can he win this duel? If he can, there's a chance. He's got the first, and now he's got a rifle.
Rifle and a chance. Does Win have the information, though? That smoke could be used up as a one-way, and he floats on it instead. A little bit weird over an option, but it could have definitely worked out. He had no idea that Anderson was in that generator position, and the Kooky Koalas. Again, beads of sweat going down. After that last one, that battle in mid. Gen.G, they fought it so valiantly in a sense, though. It was those smokes from Kooky Koalas that delayed so much time that almost made them a little bit too hungry for the frags. Cat was left wide open, Sully.
Yeah, and so was the entirety of that A site with both Sean and Michael making rotations to fight. Ainge is able to just creep his way up into A, and once they have those 2 kills and those players catwalk, he's like, okay, let's just go to the A site. I basically had full control. I waltzed on through. And so, yeah, Kooky Koalas fighting mid, drawing rotations. They might just do it here again. The alarm bot will give their position. It's almost like they want them to know they're here, right? Alarm bot goes off, an instant reaction here from Gen.G. Sean backs away a little bit closer towards Garden. Koos is now here posted up. The knives out. I mean, paranoia reaction. They've drawn so much utility here. But at what cost as they already lose the first? But a lockdown to play with his dim sum boy. Able to catch one pushing through B main. Now they can get the lockdown going. And Sean from Catwalk, he's coming up huge with a second.
Okay, you'll be able to find another one. Instead, it's actually Michael and Sean. So tagging on a little bit more. Dim Sum Boy 1v4. Turned into a 1v3. 2 players playing up that same corner position. That is... that's as goofy as you can get. But again, with an elevated position, it's going to be hard to option select. Yeah, there you go. It works out beautifully. 3rd round for Gen.G.
Yeah, it's like you walk around that corner, you see, oh, a Sova body, and then you see Omen leg, and you're like, oh, what do I shoot at now? Is this,
well,
they sit on top of each other? Who knows? Yeah, Kooky Koalas, though, still plenty of cash to buy up. Screwface can once more pick up the operator. Now, Gen.G is focused towards mid. I feel like it's playing into the hands once more of Kooky Koalas, where once they make a no-shit mid, once they commit heavily, that's where things turn around. But they will throw the Killjoy alarm bot back on the B site and have Quinn try and get something early. I don't think Harmon will fall prey to it. He can throw an owl drone out. He can allow Screwface to make some space. Smoke down. Recon bolt nullified by the smoke. 1 turret left over is Dim Sum Boy. He's going to slowly walk out of that range so they can get a very early flank going. And they already had the information recon back to them. Sean's good for the first. That lockdown so far away, and these remaining 3 players congregated back towards A main. What can they get from this fight? Owl drone to lead, Screwface and Ainge right behind.
Spam out from Sean, but still nothing. Dim Sum Boy, he's been more or less a B lurk really almost every single round now.
This isn't going to do anything.
Gonna be able to get the ulti too, but the lockdown. Gonna have to clear out Kusta. But again, Kusta has all this util on this site. That's why it doesn't really matter. He just has to back out of the lockdown. He's in the corner, and now he just covers up even more time. That's gonna allow his teammates to rotate. And not only that, but Kusta can go absolutely nuts. He's gonna be able to get 2 GMD with 1 back, 1v4 now for Ainge. 30 seconds left. Could take this bit by bit.
30 seconds left.
Oh. Okay. Tough reaction from Ainge, but kid. So let's find a couple more. One over towards the defender side area. And with that ping, Ainge got to start thinking about saving. But so many players are looking down on him. From long range, Ainge tries to take one up. 10 seconds left. There's no way that he can battle these out. He's just trying to get these kills just so
my
he can
goodness.
save, and indeed he does. There you go. Yeah, that's wonderful. Ainge can't even peek for the last one, too. 60 HP. Winners away. Oh my goodness, indeed. That was actually pretty good from Ainge, but doesn't equate into a round.
It does take away a whole lot of firepower away out of Gen.G, and well, yeah, it doesn't work out. I mean, the setup from the get-go, Koalas not running their default, making it very easy to read. Once those two players push through to B main, they see the Killjoy turret. They realize now that it's been deactivated, it's going to be called back. They're like, okay, they are playing on the A site because now they know Dim Sum is mid-rotation back towards A with that lockdown. So doesn't work out for Koalas. So they're going to have to run back their old default. It feels like that's the biggest thing, is that because they're not running defaults, they're very easy to read. But this is a little bit different from Gen.G. The first time we're going to see them actually really push out early into a round as both Sean and Quinn create space. GMD was there to watch. Turret broken, but I think Gen.G are maybe prone to the idea that it could be B, but they've spotted out Dim Sum Boy. They know that's the normal lurk, and now Quinn's going to make the adjustment. They lose full control of A, and with a Hunter's Fury here, at least for Harmon, the post plant becomes a little bit easier. Screwface taking up the site. 8 will go down, and Koalas in a 4v5 post plant, but not a lot of space gained and not a lot of good positioning.
No, they do have the Hunter's Fury for the post plant. If they do end up getting that plant down, boy, they're taking their time. Anderson, he's knowing off this flank, and they're finally going to be able to get that plant down. 45 seconds left. Sean has the angle. Anderson somehow needs to clear, but Kusta is the one with the frag. That's going to take a little bit more time for Gen.G to go back, but that kill is so massive. Kusta now has lockdown. Oh, that's way more detrimental than I thought, and they're going to be able to use it immediately. The Koalas, they even shut down the cat door.
One on their flank.
And they can't even fight. There is one on their flank. Sean's going to be able to take down one, make it two. Oh, that lockdown, that kill from Kusta. So massive.
This is so punishing from Gen.G right now. After such a phenomenal start, Koalas slow it down to a 6-5 scoreline. One round now. They were up 5-1 at a certain point in time. Gen.G putting on the heat right now. They're taking so much ground that Koalas are allowing them, and I feel like it's way too late to make this adjustment. Koalas, you wanted to maximize your rounds. Well, unfortunately, Gen.G have de-optimized your takes. Now they're looking to tie things up. It's a scattered buy for the Koalas. Anderson on light shields, Harmon on an Ares. Not the best guns you want to use, and Quinn is already gunning down mid, looking for something early on the operator. No smoke towards him, so he's got a lot of free ground as the recon bolt as well will be canceled.
Oh, and Huang going aggressive. There is that shock dart back, like I mentioned before, but Win somehow able to dodge. Again, I mentioned that shock dart early usage from Harmon, but it doesn't actually clear up that alarm bot like they would like. But oh, that TP. How's it going? Oh, it's right on side. Unreal. Sean is ready for it over in heaven, but Ainge is able to get that trade back. In they go, trying to clear up. Shock dart in two, but the smoke doesn't cover really nearly anything at all. Michael does go around the corner, allows two to go through. GMD fights up again. Dim Sum Boy goes down. 4v2 with just about 50 seconds left. They do have Spike left up on site. You do have the Hunter's Fury and the TP ready. Hunter's Fury doesn't actually catch anything, though. That's huge. Able to dodge. And comes the drops. Harmon now with the lineup. But it's Kusta with two. Gen.G, they've tied up the half against the Koalas. The Koalas, they find themselves on the defensive side in the second half. Find out what happens, folks, as Gen.G, they now have a chance to close things out after this half.
Show me what you got. Back that up, 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 back that up
Welcome on back, folks. The second half here in Ascent between Gen.G and the Kooky Koalas about to kick off. My name is Upmine, joined here by Sully and Gen.G, certainly with a rally at the end of things in the first half.
Right, yeah, 4 rounds in a row. Kooky Koalas starting to maybe become a little bit lackluster. They started to slowly fall behind as the rounds kept on going. Gen.G got a good read on them, but now they're on the defensive side. This is where things can definitely go their way, but it's such an early fight, and it looks like no team is going to come out on top. A 1-for-1 trade, and Kooky Koalas, it's just left to Ainge, who's looking for a fight, but Harmon in the back, and it's Gen.G to cancel. They do have a mid lurk, and it's Anderson and Michael. Could come face to face, but Dim Sum Boy not too far off. It's Kooky Koalas anticipating the A hit now.
So they're playing this very optimally. Again, Harmon on site. They have Ainge over towards Cat. He does have that share for the long range interaction. But with the amount of time that they're taking up at the moment, this is actually allowing the smoke back on Omen to recharge. So we're probably going to see one over towards the Cat area. It's actually over in Heaven. It's actually double Heaven smokes. And instead, wow. Wow, what a combo.
That is a super clean burst coming out from Gen.G. Nano Storm and then the double smoke. Look how awkward of a position this is. I mean, you may think that there's just a big gap in that smoke and it's faulty smokes, but no, when you walk through that, there's only one place you can be. So you just pre-fire that angle, get a quick dink, and that's what Gen.G do. 7-6. They take the early lead, and it's GMD who's going to force out a Vandal here early on, and they're actually going to go all in on this one. And same thing with Kooky Koalas, the 4 spy, it's Screwface and the Bucky, 4 sheriffs to try and recover this second round and maybe convert it. And I think that's actually Gen.G's first pistol round win. So props to them in this series.
So the first lead back after being down 5-1 too. That's probably the craziest thing about it. So Gen.G, not only with the lead, but now a massive opportunity for the second round conversion. I said actually in our break, in our comms, that I would love to see the shotguns come back, and indeed we see it. It's very predictable though, right? They lose out on that first round, and really these early ones we're going to be seeing those Buckies come back into play. So Screwface playing up close in A main could be able to get himself into an interaction real quick, especially with Win. Could be able to get that peek, but this time over towards the B site. It's actually double coverage of B main, and mid control might just be taken, and Win actually won out that battle against the Bucky, but the Sheriffs are actually better. Anderson getting a kill back onto Kusta. No man advantage just yet, but Gen.G still trying to find slots for them to go into.
Oh, that alarm bot going off. It's going to bring Kusta, or apologies, Dim Sum Boy all the way back. And while the kill for at least Anderson did go on to Kusta, still not a good position. They're faking everything. They've committed so many players here, but there are 2 players fighting Catwalk now. And they're going to try and re-exit into the B site. Dim Sum Boy with a shot completely blind. Giving them the chance now to close it out here, but gunning on through. It's GMD and Quinn lock things down for a 3 versus 2. The post plans, they're all going to funnel into the back of site, leave Michael in the middle, and it's Sheriffs here to try and recoup here for the rest of Kooky Koalas.
Standing ahead.
Yeah, this one's just tough, but again, taking it bit by bit. The Spectres are already hounding around that area too. Ainge now 1v3. Oh, nice. Well calmed. Good double peek. All synchronized. Gen.G gonna be able to take that one back, but one of the Vandals ends up getting saved. If I'm not mistaken, it was only one Vandal that they invested, period. But the opportunity for a bonus round, Sully, it is almost moot at this point, as they do have quite a few investments to actually go through, and they see that. They actually want to maintain their economy at just about the 2.8 to 3K area, but the Koalas, again, still have to pick up the pistols as they invested just a little bit too much in that last round.
Yeah, I mean, Gen.G, they know that Koalas went for that buy, right? You see the Bucky. It's what Koalas have always done. 4 Sheriffs and a Bucky. So Gen.G, they know that the eco is going to be very low for Koalas, so they're going to take upon that fact, bonus themselves out here to give them even more of a leverage in this half. It's early A main control here by Quinn. How do they play off of that one? Lear goes out, but no swing yet. They're going to retake that control. So they know there's at least one on A, but they don't know exactly where this Killjoy is and where the remaining 3 other players are. Sean might be in for a worrisome surprise. They only have info that there's guaranteed 2. There's the dink, and there's another swing. Screwface for the trade. 4v4, and GMD, he's locked out of this one, stuck right behind the stairs as he's overwhelmed and rifled down the B site open, but the spike is nowhere near in their possession. And Koalas, they've got no idea they've got control. And there is even a flank coming in now from Kusta down towards mid.
Yeah, they're putting in a whole lot of util over towards this area, but again, Kusta has full control of the B site. Spike has to get taken back, but wow, Win is all alone. Could be another gun picked up, but it also could be a farm for Win. But no, it's not. Ainge takes him down. 2-man advantage for the Koalas. And indeed, they could get cut off. In we go. Anderson on the front lines looking for the frag. Michael going nuts, but he's only able to get one. Kusta's flank is control of the B site. Doesn't equate into anything for now. 13 seconds left. Just looking for the spike. Anderson with a picked up Vandal takes him down. And the Koalas, they find themselves a window into this half.
A legitimate window, as the window was mid. 3 players
they shattered it.
The rifle from GMD dropped as well. Koalas, it's so fortunate that Gen.G just caught completely lacking, right? Sean caught in the open. GMD not taking the peek initially, opening it up for Koalas to pick up the gun, take the triple peek, and shut down GMD. So they bring it now with back to within 1. They're only going to be able to transition 1 rifle and a Spectre over, as Screwface is regardless going to pick up the operator. Quinn has got the Blade Storm. He's going early into this A site. So much space, but he's been shut down by Anderson already.
Oh my God. It's so comical in a sense. Anderson just takes him down immediately right when we kind of see Win starting to cook a little bit. Ends up being that cooked for a little bit too long. It was burnt. But in we go, though. Good lockdown, actually. That might corral a couple of players over towards Heaven. And indeed it is Sean. Oh, what? Screwface shot through the wall onto Michael, but it's double coverage here on site. Gotta watch out for Sean and GMD. The eye does reveal that at least one is lower, but GMD lines up 2. Sean
not
continuing the reign of terror, and Dim Sum Boy can get anything done. Gen.G, no, GMD and Sean hold it down all by themselves.
Absurd scenes in the closer of that round. Sean and GMD, I don't even know how the positioning is primed for even that. GMD's double is absolutely massive. Koalas had the game plan in their mind. They said, we're going to have to play retake on A. They threw the Killjoy utility so Gen.G couldn't get control into Garden to drop the lockdown. But Gen.G, they somehow get it done. So many ults invested in that one as well, though, by Gen.G. 3 go to the wayside. Koalas trying to stave off another reset now with Screwface with the space, but the turret's gonna get quite the info already. They know one's pushed up. They don't know who's pushed up. They know that space has been taken towards B, so mid is the name of the game. They've got minimal control towards A, nothing towards B. It's gonna have to be a retake and perhaps a split given the position that they've got into this B bomb site.
Ooh. Win just takes down Anderson immediately. They tried to double take Cat. Unfortunately, just doesn't work out in their favor. Ainge, oof. Actually going for the Empress. Up front and center. I can certainly create some space. Screwface gets pinged, but he's dashing on away. Only knives to work with, and I say only. Tim Boy getting pinged at the moment, but Screwface, in we go, baby. Has the eye up, though. That denies any space for him. That is massive. And now Dim Sum Boy is going to get flanked on by GMD. Harmon needs to go nuts, but he just can't. Ainge now the last person remaining in a 1v3. Gate might have gone down too. There's a smoke in that same position lingering. Ainge has to clear every single position possible, every corner. The gate might have actually been broken, so might be a slot in for him. GMD, definitely the guardian of this site, just a round before this time he's playing towards the A main position. It's still very much a tall task for Ainge. Two of them in hell now. They've actually transitioned, win in that position too. Ainge, he makes a little bit of sound, has to clear out one, able to take down Michael. No way he expects Win here, but he's gonna be able to burst on, but Win pulls out the sidearm, and he survives with 15 HP. GMD was there as the insurance policy. That looked a little bit scrappy, but Ainge, it was really the best that he can do.
Oh, this is tricky positioning for Kooky Koalas. You realize now if you lose this round, and then the next one you've got your full buy, it's Gen.G. Their eyes on day number 2. Kooky Koalas, so much to do. 3-round gap. It doesn't seem like much, but the cash is the thing that holds them back. They've got a lockdown charged up. Nothing really for the side of Gen.G to worry about except for that Hunter Sphere that can instantly cancel. It's Bucky for Screwface up close. We know he can be a game changer. Well, this is the play to change this game, but he's shut down through the wall, and Sean with the follow-up. Harmon gone down. Dim Sum Boy, the only one here on the site, trying to take a couple of tags, trying to take a couple of heads up, but nothing. It's a 5v2, and they're just going to keep on going here. Gen.G, so much space. The door is closed in their face. It's Gen.G looking at 11th here.
The Kooky Koalas staring down the barrel of Ops and Vandals. Holy. Super clean thus far. Ainge could be able to stat pad just a little bit more around the corner, actually able to get the kill into Sean. GMD takes him down. So again, yeah, for that round, the Kooky Koalas went for yet another one of those, I guess I could say, like, sneaky tactics. It was at least the position from Screwface that he's played up a couple of times on actually both mains, both B main and A main. And in terms of util setup, the Koalas, they didn't exactly have like contingency. They didn't have a paranoia. They didn't have anything to actually support. If anything, it was just Screwface on his own, just trying to get it at least one pick back and trying to dash away. It's not exactly the best plan on planet Earth, but it's worked out multiple times in the past for the Kooky Koalas. But now during the pause, they have a moment to ponder. Think about what on earth that they can do to break down Gen.G. And we see a smattering of it, or at least a hint of what they could have out of this half, just from this buy alone.
It's going to have to be explosive. There's no doubt about that one. Gen.G knocking on the door of 12th and possibly a 2-0 series. As it's up to Kooky Koalas. They have a couple of ults saved. Most importantly, that lockdown. But again, Michael has got the Hunter Sphere to immediately counter. So I think the goal here is if Gen.G can hold on to that Hunter's Fury, or if maybe Kooky Koalas can bait it out, that's where they can get the advantage. But they always have to have it consciously in the back of their mind that as soon as we throw that lockdown down, there's going to be find a way to capitalize onto a player like that. If Michael pulls out the Hunter's Fury, we need to be ready for it. And again, it does feel like it's do or die for the Koalas. Hanging on a limb of a tree is Gen.G looking for a full A hit, and there's that Killjoy utility just to maintain guard and control. Hunter's Fury not used just yet, and Michael's gonna save it, as I think they're as well preemptively getting ready for it. Screwface taken off the angle by the owl jump, but he'll hold this one. It's the recon bolt. Won't reveal him. That's huge. Screwface can stay in this position now.
Oh, but Gen.G not exactly showing face, but it was really just the Sova that made a whole lot of noise, throwing out util on site. So Gen.G essentially going back to what would be a little bit more of a default, but they're not actually going to maintain anyone in A main. They spill all their bodies over towards the main, or the mid area, excuse me. But only one player is actually executed.
Okay.
On that arch lurk.
So
In goes the paranoia. Oh, this is huge now, Sully.
Yeah, Gen.G were going to try and take this because they were expecting that lockdown. Great trade from Quinn, but a better shot from Screwface. They come out empty-handed in terms of guard and control. Sean running across
in the smoke?
through the smoke onto Anderson. Now GMD's gone big towards mid. The retake is falling apart. It doesn't matter if you have the lockdown because Sean's got the positioning, and now Sean's got the kill. Gen.G pull apart Kooky Koala's play. And now they're staring down the barrel of a 2-0 sweep as it's going to be 12 here. And if they can get the gun out of the hands of Harmon, things will not be looking good for Kooky Koalas.
Revealing area.
Well, not at all. Now they even know that the Odin is around too. That's less potential for that B main spam that we love to see. Harmon can just chill over in the main side. Has to just wait for players to walk into his crosshair. Gonna be able to get one at least. What is that turret position?
It's on top of the wall.
That's so evil.
Yeah, it's
Goose is essentially able to use it
just looking straight down
as
at
a
him.
dummy. It's like paper cuts.
Yeah, it's like Michael or apologies, Harmon has to just sit there and hold the ankle while he's getting chipped away slowly. You see, it's like your death is coming. It's just
Yeah,
what's
it's
gonna
evil.
take you down, Kusta or the turret. Anyways, light buy for Kooky Koalas. I say that, but it's everything into this round. They get what they can in the last round, or what could be the last round of this game. They do still have that lockdown, but once more, Michael with the Hunter Series, 4 ults lined up. Gen.G, early Hunter Series, but it's Quinn straight into the site. They're not going to punish Ange here, but he's with every single bullet. No ammo, no chance. GMD and Sean for 2.
Wow, GMD, first of all, you gotta be kidding me with the speed of actually making it towards that position. Takes down Harmon, and now it's only 2.
Oh, no.
Screwface goes down. Dim Sum Boy 1v5 to maintain the hopes of the Kooky Koalas. Their path ends here. Quinn takes him down. Gen.G eliminate the Kooky Koalas from Masters contention.
Such heartbreak for the Cinderella run. It ends on day number 1. Gen.G looking good here on the second map, Ascent. I mean, it was the best map for Kooky Koalas, 6-0. Well, unfortunately, that record is broken. They're 6-1 as Gen.G have toppled them here and sending them packing. What heartbreak for these guys, because they were a team that formed only a couple of days before the actual open qualifiers, and to make it this far is a statement. Now, will they continue? I sure as hell hope they do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, you mentioned the hex for Gen.G in terms of, you know, in terms of the close qualifiers. They lost out 2 in the first, and they lost out another 2 after that. It's just been straight 2-0s, except for the 2-1 that they actually ended up taking over Sentinels in qualifier number 1. But this is certainly a little bit of a change. This is the fun one for Gen.G at least. But to the Kooky Koalas, as the official CEO of the fan club, sorry, it happens. They made it all the way here. They had their hopes. It was a fun squad, right? It was just a bunch of puggers and streamers that came together and tried to play out the open qualifiers just as the nature should be. And they ended up making their way into the close qualifiers, bagged themselves $1,000. If anything, that's more than successful to add to their resume to hopefully get some of them signed.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do what you can. Well, the Kooky Koalas, they don't walk away with the dub. They actually do walk away with the sweet play of the day. It happened earlier today, folks. It's Screwface with an ace. The first game against LG. Now, the game definitely didn't go their way, but they had some really good highlight moments. I think this was really good. This play alone, I feel like, just shows the talent of Screwface and how pivotal he can be. I mean, his op, his Bucky, his Vandal, I mean, he's just tall and handsome all around. There's really nothing to say.
No.
Screwface was such a pivotal part of this Kooky Koalas lineup during the open qualifiers. He was so big, but it just wasn't enough, and it's just such an unlucky end to their run.
Yeah, like you said, tall, handsome, beautiful, cracked, all of the sort. Well done. But folks, we do have our bracket starting to solidify more and more. Gen.G is now only one best of 3 away from making it into Masters. but they have an unnamed opponent from the winner's bracket to have to face on just tomorrow. But going on right now over towards that mainstream, it is 100 Thieves facing off against T1. It's a fun time all around here, folks, for the VCT Challengers number 3. But for day 1 here on the B stream, it is over. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to the boys over at Koalas, to all the players. Thank you to also their coach Wow, their managers Branchies, and actually their meme maker Dinor. He actually specifically asked me to shout them out. But yeah, they certainly have a bright future. But before we go, ladies and gentlemen, we wanted to thank our sponsors over at HyperX. You guys already know the bit. I'm wearing a HyperX headset as we speak. Although I have a Bob Ross type complexion, this is the most comfortable headset that I own. They are the official peripherals and DRAM sponsor for the first stage of the VALORANT Challengers tournaments. And again, millions of people game and they want the utmost comfortability. Why not pick yourself up a good old pair of HyperX headset? And of course, the Cloud 2 wireless is a great option too. I have one myself. It's great for gaming and it's great just for the portability in general. Thank you so much again to HyperX. For now, we are done, folks. My name is Upmind. You can follow me on Twitter at Upmind_. You can follow my boy Sully here at SullyCasts. Enjoy the game on the A stream and enjoy this weekend as we prepare for Masters.